Full-time Devils, we have got some big news, 2 bits of big news to react to today, actually. Got Gaz and Jay with me. My name's Gaz. Firstly, we've got the draw of the round of 32. Round of 32 of the Europa League. Always get mixed
Feels
up.
about right, that.
Yeah.
Could be 64.
I think that's right. I think
28.
that's right. Brugge, we're playing in the next round. Club Brugge.
I've been to Bruges.
I've been to Bruges.
Right. Do we have any reactions about the actual
Oh, no, actually,
team?
I haven't. I went to Brussels.
All right.
Sorry.
Easy mistakes, mate.
Nah.
It's exactly the same.
It's meant to be Brugge and Genk are like the 2 touristy bits, aren't they? And then Brussels is meant to be a bit boring, really.
Nah, Brussels was alright.
Boris doesn't agree.
I've been to Ypres as well.
Have you? Been about you, haven't you?
I have been about.
Right, well,
I forgot that I went to Australia this summer though, on
Have
a
you
plane
seen
the
that?
other day.
I know you have, but I'll ask you anyway. Have you seen that film in Bruges?
Yeah.
Is that any good?
With Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a dad jokey film.
Right.
I would say it's not in my top 10.
Yeah.
It's certainly not.
Is it in your top 10 of films set in Bruges?
What else has been set in Bruges? Did one of the Born Identities go through Bruges?
You know, we
might have.
started
I
this.
feel like that could have
we
been-
started
I
this
think
video.
I think that's right. I think Ronin might have had a little bit of it in Bruges.
You know, when we started this video, we were
Ronan,
supposed to be
underrated,
reacting to Bruges,
John,
the football team, not
Leroy.
necessarily films about Bruges or anything else.
De Niro's in it.
Guys, while the UK is desperately trying to cut all ties with Brussels, we're actually going to be going there and playing in the Europa League.
Well, in Bruges.
So do we have any reaction? Oh yeah. Oh mate, you're getting me mixed up now. Right, Bruges. Do we know anything about them as a team? Can we beat them?
Well, they're based in Belgium.
Yeah.
And they're not based in
And
Brussels.
they got Mignolet.
Yeah, Minion.
Yeah, and I
You just told me before we
They
started.
gave
talking.
Real Madrid a game recently. They got smashed
Did
by
they?
PSG recently.
All right. Well, we didn't.
Yeah, so I don't know. We should be beating Bruges, shouldn't we? But then again, we should be beating West Ham, Newcastle, Bournemouth, Palace.
Are we going to start a strong team for the Bruges game? We're playing them away first.
I don't know, you know. I think once
we
it gets
play
to
them away?
the meat of a season, which is the knockout stage, of which in the Europa League, I think there's 27, right? So I think once you get to the meat of the knockout stage where it's actually, you know, you can almost get eyes on the prize, which I think in about 4 rounds we do, you probably start going strong, I reckon. Or stronger, maybe 1 rotated player instead of 9.
The thing is, though, we've got, right, we've said this before, if you actually just played a load of the kids, they're really good.
Well, no shit, Jay.
Do you know what I mean, though? It's like, we've not like we've got a crop of youngsters
Ask
who
Astana.
aren't really up to it. No, because...
I'm joking before you kick off.
Yeah. But we have got, like...
Yeah, but we played
really
an
good-
under-18s team pretty
Yeah,
much.
it wasn't even like the kids, it was like the younger kids.
Yeah.
For a lot of that.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
literally.
So I think if we play, you know, some of our fringe
We had to
players,
get notes so people didn't have to be back in school first thing.
people were getting subs to carry on with the revision.
And last thing we'll say on Bruges before we move on.
We've covered it so well.
We've covered it. I feel like
that was a bit in depth, really.
I was going to say
if
we've
anything.
stretched
analysis.
We've stretched the little knowledge we all have on the team as it is. I will ask the final question: will we all need a visa for the away game? It's on the 20th of February. Who knows?
That's a good question.
Who knows?
With that there, Brexit and all that.
Yeah, that there.
I'm
we
just
are.
going to
leaving
say
out
no
there.
comment because I'll get myself in loads of trouble.
Get it done.
You get yourself in trouble.
Joking.
No, it's not
I
joking.
refuse to believe
Not
that.
like me.
Right, let's move on to the big news. Howson, I'm going to let you do the honours.
Howson,
The
take the floor.
big news. It's not like official yet.
Look,
but good
you know
sources.
that there's a day coming, right? I was there for Ryan Giggs' debut, and I was there for his last game, and I was there for his first and last game as a manager. And you feel old watching, you know, this young whippersnapper. Ryan Giggs, when he made his debut, was probably about 6 stone or something like that. Just glides across the grass. Anyway, so
remember it well,
I
too.
saw the aging of Ryan Giggs. But as it got to like 2008, 2009, and you sort of see Nani substituting him, and he was having some shocking games, you go, one day he's going to have played his last game for United, and that is a sad day. Now, Ashley Young, basically Giggs Young, innit, really, let's be honest, in terms of captain, leader, legend. It has been announced or leaked, I probably guess, that he won't be getting his extension, and he will be leaving the club. And as I posted on Twitter earlier, my initial response to this news is sadness.
Are we being serious or are you joking now?
And the sausage roll party will
He's
be
not gonna be
confirmed
sad,
in due course, but there will be a party.
Right, now I understand that this is part of your brand now, Howson, hating Ashley Young almost.
I don't hate him.
But come on, right, exactly. He's retiring now. Can we look back at
Still
his Man
fucking
United
like him.
career with some positives? The Arsenal 8-2. Come on. The Arsenal 8-2. The early days. The way he's come in as captain as an experienced name in this struggling Manchester United team and given everything for the shirt, you can never doubt his commitment for one thing. The season under Van Gaal, Van Gaal's first season,
That's
him and
not
Smalling
a fucking
were brilliant.
positive. Brilliant.
Yeah. Compared to the rest of the
Raise
shit we
your
had on show.
expectations. Brilliant. No, he wasn't. No. And that was the issue the whole way through. And do you know what? I was never that arsed about Young, but where I'd go, Young was shit, probably because he was shit. And people were like, I thought he was great. Well, he obviously wasn't great. And now you're in an argument with people about whether someone was great or shit. And ultimately, you end up doubling down, Jay, on whether someone was good or not.
Whoa.
I think this is what happens a little bit.
This is what I remember this Saturday afternoon, infamously, because it nearly cost me my relationship. When you unleashed your hordes onto me on Twitter, because I made the mistake of saying Ashley Young had a good game. And then, 5 minutes later, Gary Neville gave you man of the match. But you still weren't having it. And everyone who follows you weren't having it, because they were all attacking me. All I said was he had a good game.
Right, now, my credentials and Gary Neville credentials. Let's put them on the table.
All right. No.
Right, hang on, let's put them on the table. As a manager...
I like to say I said before Gary Neville gave him man of the match. I hasten to add, I wasn't following...
I've gone to the semi-final of the Sportsman World Cup twice. Right? Twice.
Back to back.
Back to back. Losing on penalties. And some dodgy decisions. Playing some amazing football. Gary Neville's
expansive football.
Just lost game after game at Valencia. Now I ask you, who's a better manager?
All right, I'll give you that one, yeah. You win.
I just had to keep laughing through that, just so if anyone clips it up, they know he's joking, because you know what people are like online. No, I don't think he even thinks he is.
I think if he took a lie detector test now, he'd pass it. He's a better manager.
No, well, come on. Come on, Ashley Young. Ashley Young, guys. Ashley Young, you think we're captain.
I'll always say this about Ashley Young. Right? The first season, I think it was the first season he came when we lost out in the league to City. I thought he was very unlucky because he played well that season. He scored some important goals at the back end of the season. I think he got a brace at Spurs, didn't he? Memory serves. He scored at Blackburn, I think, when he was there as well. How did we win the league? Everyone would be going, Ashley Young played a massive part in it.
A part in it.
Next season, we didn't, obviously. We won it. He played a bit part in it. He was unlucky again at the Etihad when he scored the third that was wrongly disallowed. He played a part in it as a winger, right? Then he moves to fullback. And a little bit later on, obviously, I think it was under Van Gaal, wasn't it, at first, that first moved him on at fullback. I might be wrong, but I think it was Van Gaal that was the first one to
we had some times where we played no defenders and that. Under Fergie, it could have been that.
Yeah.
It was really weird, though, because it was like Valencia and him on either wing.
My argument with Ashley Young has always been, he's a player that isn't the greatest fullback, right? That's fair enough. But I think his bad games aren't as frequent as people say. Let's not forget, everyone makes out he's shit every game. He went to the World Cup as England's first choice left back. So he can't have been shit every single game. Otherwise, he wouldn't have gone. He wouldn't have been in the team. He kept Luke Shaw out of the team. He must have been playing relatively well to keep a player out of the team. So it's not like he's been terrible every single game, which is the narrative now. It's like Ashley Young's been a disaster for his club, and he hasn't. No. And he's had some good games for Manchester United. He has. Well, I remember Ashley
Young. Within
Young.
The game, I think here's the problem. For me, I like players that... someone's been saying it all week about Mason. He hits the ball early.
Right.
Ashley Young delays, then checks in on his right foot and puts a cross in. For some fucking reason, because Fellaini was so slow getting there, it kind of just landed right when, and they matched up well together as an asset.
That's a nice way to compliment a goal.
They did compliment
If Ruud van Nistelrooy had been playing with Ashley Young might have died. Because as a forward, and you can watch the forwards, I watch every game United play back without the commentary because I want to have my own opinions on the game because I know that the commentary influences people's opinions. When you watch Ashley Young and he'll go to the byline or he'll go to the corner of the box, which is his favourite thing to do, don't watch him watch the strikers. The strikers make a run. Then the strikers go and have to make another run. And sometimes make even another fucking run. And then by the time they've done that, they just stand there. Because they're like, I'm fucking bored now and he's dicking around still. The same happened with Nani a little bit. When you've got players that are doing that and you're not looking at what the impact they've got by delaying, the impact they have on other people at the pitch because of their inability or just lack of intelligence on the ball to be able to push it forward. Contrast that to likes of Mason Greenwood. And Pogba is very similar in this sense as well. Pogba, when he decides to let it go, the Marcus Rashford goal at Wembley really stands out for that, as do a couple of others when he's banged it over the top. Early Solskjaer.
Chelsea, early this season.
Right? It's outrageous. When he dallies on the ball, which he does, it breaks everything down ahead of him. For me, Ashley Young always broke our play down. And when you can point to an assist that he got on the end of it afterwards, you're like, okay, but we can't count the assists he didn't get, the goals that we should have got, because he broke our play down because of his ability on the ball. Contrast that to, I mean, even Wan-Bissaka's getting to the byline and putting a cross in. Brandon Williams, as a right-footed left-back, is in the box so many times trying to play 1-2s and force things. That early ball, do you know when people go, oh, why do United play slow? That's one of the reasons.
But surely, right, I get where you're coming from, but why aren't the managers culpable then? I get it. I'm never going to win this argument with you about Ashley Young, right? I get that, and I've given up trying. Believe me, I've spent many hours, wasted hours even attempting it. But why are the managers not culpable then?
There's a
because
reason
they're picking him.
There is
consistently picking him.
I spoke to one of the coaches at United, and one of my first things with a lot of the coaches is, how the fuck is Ashley Young getting a game? Right? That's one of the things that I say to him.
Doesn't surprise me.
One of the coaches, I'm not going to name his name, one of the coaches sickened me, right, by saying he'd be the first player I give a contract to. And I was like, I used to like you.
There you go, you say.
But I went, you're going to have to explain it like I'm fucking...
Did this conversation take place in the bar by any chance?
Nope. This was...
12 pints in.
No, this was in a hotel on pre-season. Right? So I was like, you're going to have to explain to me then what he does. And I'm not trying to be a dick about this, but like, what I see on football pitch for 90 minutes does not impress me in the slightest. And I always was saying, I think Brandon Williams is better. Why is he not getting a chance? No, I think that's been proven. But he said that. He said, nobody. And he goes, you're going to laugh. And I went, all right, let's hear it. He goes, he's like Roy Keane. And I went, you're a fucking idiot.
But I can yeah.
He says, in the dressing room, he's got, and I know that's going to get clipped up to death. Then. He says, in the dressing room, he maintains the standard. He maintains, even down to uniform, the way people speak. He goes, he literally maintains the order of the dressing room. And I'm like, that's fucking mad for starters. And I know people are going to be like, did he just say Roy Keane's like Ashley Young? I didn't say it. Don't pin it on me. He was one of the coaches. And I think he was probably just exaggerating to highlight the point of how...
But you can see that on the pitch because he's very vocal. And when I don't keep bringing it back to England, but when the England players were getting interviewed, because there were a lot of youngsters in that World Cup semi-final squad, they pointed at Ashley Young. He was one of the players they singled out as being someone that was, you know, a leader.
You mentioned this, right? And I don't think that's actually helped Ashley Young with his perception of fans, especially speaking personally, right? For me, certain times last season where he's on the pitch and the whole team isn't performing well. You know, you look up after we've just conceded a goal. He's the captain. He's screaming at all these players,
probably at fault.
All of which have had a better game than him. He's one of the worst players on the pitch, and I'm like, you're the captain.
Needs to be not just maintaining standards, but the example of those standards.
It's not just about shouting at people.
Can you imagine if someone ever turned to Roy Keane and go, "You've missed 6 tackles. You've scored an own goal."
Exactly.
I get where you're coming from, but it's immensely harsh to compare him to fucking Roy Keane.
No, it is, but that's the standard we want to be achieving.
Good point.
No, and people are going to be like, well, you like Jesse Lingard? Yeah, and I've always maintained he's a squad player.
And he's not a captain.
That's where he's meant to be.
He's not a captain.
And
Jesse Lingard shouldn't be captain.
Isn't and hasn't and shouldn't be the captain. Although he did wear it against the standard, didn't he?
I do think, I heard someone say this once about a politician. I think they might have said it about Tony Blair, and I do think about Ashley Young. I think history will be kinder to him than we are being. I think people years from now look back and think, won some trophies, played a lot of games, captain United, did all right.
Isn't that the case for every footballer?
Go up, captain United, won some trophies.
No, as in history will be kinder for them after they retire.
No, so like,
people
there's a lot
do
of players we
remember
look back
players
at and think, he was garbage. I don't think they'll look back at Ashley like that.
Dion Dublin at the time didn't really give that much of a fuck about him, but meet him now, really nice to him, and like, you know.
Best thing Dion Dublin ever did was getting injured. No disrespect to him, because he went out and bought Eric, and that never would have happened if he did not broke his leg against Palace.
But everyone who... Right, I will say this. I try not to be disrespectful. I probably overstepped the line a couple of times with Young, and I do apologise for that. And I tried to apologise to him for that, and he didn't want to have it. So it's
weird. Weird how a hate campaign that's lasted 6 years.
It's not a hate campaign. It's a dislike campaign. It's different.
Sorry.
And you know, I've met him a couple of times, and he's always been, apart from one time, really sound.
I want to know about that one time. We'll talk about that off-camera thing today.
You know, I will always say, yeah, I think Jay's got a point in terms of in 5 years, we'll probably go, there was probably worse. I can't think of any off the top of my head.
In 5 years' time, when Ashley Young sat on the warm down, and he's going...
it's going to be funny.
Hey, do you know what? You might not have been the worst player I saw. Exactly. That's about as much of a compliment as I'm going to give you.
Right.
Name me a worse player.
Than what?
Butner.
Butner.
Okay, name me another worst player.
Tom Cleverley.
Chadwick.
Get out.
You think Tom
Luke
Cleverley's
Chadwick.
better than Ashley Young?
Technically, yeah.
I suppose it's actually a discussion.
Colin Gibson.
Colin.
You asked me to name a worse player. Didn't
Right.
say it was age
Are we
or
done?
there was a restriction.
Have we reviewed Ashley Young's Man United
Let's
career
quit while we're
extensively
almost
now,
ahead, where
and
he's just said
he's not
something that
gonna
was
say
semi.
No, I think
okay
that
about him.
there's a thing that about all players that have managed to pull on a shirt for United, even in our worst period, have had some level of decency as a footballer, and probably should be treated like all ex-players are and welcomed all over the place as an ex-player.
He never
of United.
disrespected the club, did he? He never disrespected
Only
the
by
club.
signing
and-
extensions to his contract.
Right, okay. Right, we're out of here. We've got a preview on the way very, very shortly. Get your comments in below. Reaction to us playing Brugge in the Europa League
Which
and
is in
Ashley
Brussels.
Young leaving
And it is in
Manchester
Belgium.
United. These are rumours, by the way, not confirmed yet, but we'll see what happens at the end of the season. But we'll catch you soon, guys. It's Full Time Devils. That's Jay, that's Howson. My name's Gaz. In a bit.